Okay, this video is about repairing a leak in the water main to the house, the water pipe. And you're going to see it's a 3/4 inch polyurethane pipe, and it cracked at the foundation wall here, and water was running into the backyard, causing it to be muddy back there and running up our water bill. And we found out when we shut off all the water in the house, the meter was still running, so that's how we knew. And I had to dig this 5-foot hole here. There's the pipe, and actually that pipe was down a little bit, and there was a 10-pound rock on it. Whenever they put in the backfill, evidently they dropped a rock on there, and it bent the pipe down along the wall, kinked it at the wall there, and caused it to crack and leak. And it's probably been that way for 30 years, because I've only owned the house 8 years, and it was built 30 years ago, so the water bill's been higher than it should have been all these years. So anyway, we got that pipe there, have to cut it and then add a new piece going inside, and we'll have to put a clamp there and join two pieces of pipe together. So I have to go to the store and buy that, put a clamp on, and then hook it inside the house to the copper piping in the house, which we'll show you in a moment. So this hole took me about, well, it was muddy, a little bit muddy at times, so it took me about 6 hours to dig, just taking my time without disrupting all the plants. So now we'll go inside and take a look at the fittings inside on the other side of the wall here of the foundation. Okay, here's the pipe coming through the wall here. You can see we had water dripping from obviously the leak outside, and this piece here will screw into this copper pipe here, right there. As you can see, it screws in there, and I cut it off here, right there. So this piece will have to be replaced because they say they don't make any more, well, it's old type of compression. You can see it. It's flanged at the top. In fact, I'll push it out here and you can see. And they said probably hard to find a tool like that, so we got another fitting that we're going to use for that. So anyway, we're going to take a splice outside and run a new piece that we're going to buy here and hook it back in here. So, and then we'll be back with our water service. So next we'll go and take a look at the parts that I have bought. Okay, so these are the parts I bought. You got 200 pounds per square inch plastic pipe here, and I bought all this at good old True Value, and all these parts here cost $49 or so. This clamp will go outside and go on the hose here and connect to the one going to the street, to the city service. And this clamp here will replace the one we saw downstairs. So this clamp here, these are compression there. As you can see, there's a seal in there. And so what will happen is we'll take one of these inserts, and that goes in the pipe. It's got to go all the way in. I'm not going to push it all the way in because I got to take it back out later to install it. And then this goes on over the pipe, and the metal insert, that is to keep the hose from collapsing when you tighten this little screw right here. So, and then this will screw in here and that'll compress it. And this end will screw into my copper fitting in the house, 3/4 inch. So that's how this works. Now, so that will replace the other fitting. That little guy right there, that fitting there costs 16 bucks. The hose, reason I went to True Value is because like Home Depot would not sell it to me by the foot. You have to buy 100 foot. So I went to True Value and they cut off what I need, 75 cents a foot. So this little guy here was a 3-footer, so $2.25 for that. Now over here we have this particular one, and this was a $20 fitting, and these little guys here, they're like 2 1/4, something like that, 2.20, and that goes in once again to the hose, and well, that one's not going in. There you go. So once again that goes in, and then this one works the same way as the other way. So you've got to put this in there, put this over the hose like so, and then screw that on, and then the city from the meter, the hose coming from the meter underground, will connect here. Now I'd read on the internet where some people, to connect this to the other hose, they just get the male inserts, the little couplings there that stick inside. They have the barbed ends, the kind of ridged ends that go in the hose, and you got to heat the black hose to warm it up so you can insert those 3/4 inch little nipples in there, and then they'll put 2 clamps, one opposite direction of the other on each side, with no glue, and they say that'll work. But the man at True Value said he didn't think that would hold with such high pressure. The blogs claim that it does work, and some have said they've been doing it for years in their business. But I didn't want to take a risk of that. I mean, to save a few dollars, I don't want to have to dig a hole again. So spend another 6 hours or another day doing this. So I went ahead and bought this. So this is 200 pounds per square inch, this plastic pipe. There's some stuff used for irrigation. You don't want to use that. You want to use this. And of course I'll cut this to the right length. I'll go down there and cut off the hose on the outside of the foundation and stick this hose through the wall, pull out the old one and stick this one in, and then I'll fasten it to the line going to the city water and meter, and then I'll run this through the wall and cut this off as well to the right length to connect to my copper tubing. And then of course once this is all done, then don't forget you got to patch your hole through the concrete foundation. They say you use this, you can buy it in cans, it's like a little cement. You wet it, it's a powder, and then you fill it in around the cracks. It's for filling cracks. I don't remember the name of it, but I have some. But you fill the cracks, for this in concrete foundations and different things like that. So these are the things that you would use. The reason I made this video is because I couldn't find any videos that really showed this on the internet. They had some that showed something similar, but they used some other kind of clamps that didn't look too sturdy to me. So hopefully this helps you, and it's it's a $50 fix for something that will be permanent, and it's all compression type fittings. So that's all you got to do is tighten all this together and put this on there. And this particular one here, you probably want to put some Teflon tape on there, so when you tighten it into the system in the basement, the copper piping, you won't have a leak there. And it may not be a bad idea to do some of these others. But anyway, hopefully this helps you out, and if you have a similar problem, you can always use this clamp somewhere else as well. It doesn't have to be right by the house, but anywhere the line might have a leak. So that's the end of the project for today, and hopefully this helps everyone who watches this. Okay, we have finished hooking up our hoses with the couplings and hooked it inside, so let's take a look at what our finished job looks like here. down in the hole, and there it is right there. And there's the 200 pound per square inch poly ethylene black pipe, plastic, for us lay people, just plain old plastic. And there's the coupling that we've got, and you can see that I've got that plastic hose there stuck inside and clamped together and no leaks, and comes through the wall there. And of course now I'm going to have to put some cement patch in that hole right there to keep it from leaking. I have to get the proper cement patching. So what I did is I cut the hose off right there, and then I pulled out the old hose. I had to go inside and do it. It was a lot easier because this is low to the ground, not much room to work in the hole. So then I went inside, pulled that out, and then I found out it was easier to stick the new piece of pipe, 3-foot piece I had, and I used a little rubber mallet to pound it through the hole. It's a pretty tight fit. And then I connected all the fittings inside and connected it to the copper piping in the house there first, so I knew exactly where that would go. And then the excess that came out through the hole, I cut it off to fit properly. So I left about, I think maybe 3/4 of an inch, ½ inch between the two pipes difference, so I could get it in the couplings there, and also they would go inside the coupling and meet about in the middle. Don't forget your little metal inserts so they don't collapse. The plastic piping doesn't collapse when you tighten those two compression nuts, and then you got the little 2 screws there to tighten the clamp around the hose on the outside, extra security. So all I got to do is fill up the hole, because there appears to be no leaks and everything's working fine. It's going to save me a lot of money on my water bill. And then I just got to fill in this whole pile of dirt, so we'll get that done. So we'll go inside now and take a look at the basement and see the fittings there. Okay, here we are in the basement, and this is where the pipe comes in. And as you can see here, we brought the plastic pipe in, cut it off at the right length, and we screwed, this is the new fitting, and we screwed this in first. I screwed that into this system here, 3/4 inch, and you got the little Teflon tape, and of course here's the, you can buy this Teflon tape, it's pretty cheap, and put that around there to keep from leaking. Tighten that all up, put the plastic hose, put that coupling on the plastic hose and screw that all together, tighten it down to compress the ring, then tighten this screw right here to tighten this around the hose there. And so now it's working. I do have one little small drip here, you can see. I didn't get enough Teflon tape on there, so I'm going to have to refix that. So I found out it was better to do all this first, then I got it into position, and then the hose outside, I just cut it off the right length and connected out there. So that was the procedure. This side first and then do the outside second. And like I said, I ran the hose in here first because it's easier to get at and could put my body weight against to get the hose through and all that. So hopefully this helps somebody, helps you with your project, and save you some time, like some other videos have saved me some time. And you can probably get these clamps at a plumber's supply, or I don't know if Home Depot or Lowe's or somebody like that or Menards would have it, but you might check. And like I said, this little fitting was $16, and the one outside, that coupling outside, was $20. So a little bit of money in it, but it's a good solid permanent fixture. Don't want to have to do it again. Alright, thanks to everyone who's helped me. I hope this helped you.